Hey guys, it's Kate and I hope you're having a great day. I have a letter size sheet here and it is actually like a 140-pound cold press paper, and I'm going to use it to do a bit of an abstract today. So I'm going to start off with my painter's marker, and usually for these larger pieces I have done my mixed media paper, which is actually quite a bit larger than this, but it's not as thick. And I really want to just experiment, get very wet today, and just have some fun. I haven't done some larger ones in a bit, and I just wanted to really get back to some of the things that I haven't really done in a while. And so this is one of those. And I seem to be going through phases. Like I'll go through my art journal and do a few pages on that. And then I do my watercolors. But I really want to just keep experimenting and doing lots of different things. So, my channel is all over the place. So we'll just have some fun and go with the flow. So I am anticipating using a lot of moisture. So I'm just going to let loose on this nice watercolor paper. So I'm going to put this away for now. And if you've been following me long, you know I like to make collage paper. So I pulled out some scraps from my collage paper box. And so I think I'm going to use a few of these pieces with some of my matte medium, and they're just kind of all over the place. So I'm going to start with this magazine sheet, and I am just going to be just doing some pieces like this and not really caring too much about where the stuff goes, what it is. I'm just going to get it on the page. And my paint marker might be a little bit damp still. You can see it smearing. I don't care. I just want to get some stuff on my paper. And actually, I really like that smear, so I'm going to keep it. Now my matte medium, you can see, is turning a bit gray. That is fine. I don't care about that either. This is just the first layer, so, and actually, I'm going to use this little scrap here too. Let's embrace the gray, shall we? And I'm just going to plop this right down. Now I'm going to kind of rub over this just so that I can get up any excess adhesive, and I'm going to set my silicone tool aside for a minute and take off some of this paper, even these little pieces. The only thing I'm trying not to do here is hit the edge of my tape, because I'm going to be pulling this back after everything is done, so I don't want like a huge chunk of my collage to come up with the tape or for it to rip. So I'm just going to keep going here. Let's just go for it with lots of texture. This is the deli paper that we did together, and the really nice thing about this is it's like translucent, so you can layer it and you can still see the layers below, which is really nice. Okay, I've grabbed a 4B, which is a soft dark pencil, and this is water soluble. So I'm going to make some marks here. I'm still pretty wet, but I can mark into this paper, and I'm just I have a little piece of the collage that came up, but I just kind of pressed my pencil on it till it came back down. So I'm going to put that on there and grab a damp brush and just kind of wet it down to get it a little bit darker. And you can get these pretty dark. And I'm going over some acrylic, and this is kind of like a watercolor pencil almost, but it can work really well. So I'm just going to do some circles, and I'm right-handed, so it's hard for me to do both or do one left-handed, although sometimes that's a good exercise. And I'm just getting these wet to give them some, activate that color a bit. I'm going to kind of gray some of these areas up too. I'm going to grab the 8B, which is much darker. Yeah. And that is the darkest one that I actually have. And I'm just going to add some marks to my paper. I'm going to grab my ultramarine, and I'm going to put it right here on the paper, because we're just going to get messy today. I'm going to grab my flat brush and just start adding some color to the paper. And this is all glue, so you can really have some fun with your paints and everything. You don't have to wait for your, gessos to dry if you don't want to. You don't have to wait for your matte medium to dry if you're using that to attach collage. You don't have to do any of that stuff. All right. I'm going to add a little bit of titanium white to some of this and just blend that right in and lighten my color up. Now vary your brush strokes a bit and try not to paint your table. And like I said, I have no idea what I want to do here, but I think it's still going to come out like something I like. Now I'm going to take my wet wipe and just punch some of this back. I don't think I like that circle there very much anyway. And we have a nice kind of toned background. Baby wipes are awesome to just be able to manipulate your painting a bit and make some things appear, knock some things back. It's good to blot with. And I'm gonna put a few marks on some of these areas that I didn't really paint, just like that. Okay, off screen, I really liked how these little collage circles looked here, and I had a few more on that scrap piece of paper. So I think I'm going to attach these on top of my paint, and I think I like this one maybe right about there. So I'm going to throw down some matte medium again, grab my brush, and I'm going to go gently on this because my paint is actually still wet. And so I'm just going to kind of gently place this. That way I won't disturb too much of the paint layer underneath, and then I can just kind of paint over this and get it attached just like that. And then I'm going to try to scoop up a little bit of that, and I think, let's see, where do I want this one? Maybe right down here. So I'm just going to add some of that leftover matte medium and then get this one attached also. I'm just kind of squeezing out some of the lumps or trying to flatten any of the creases. Since I put it on a wet piece of paper, I just want to make sure I'm doing what I can to keep it from being too wet and peeling up and all of that. Now I'm going to grab my little mixing plate and get some white on here. I'm going to grab my small round brush and I'm going to kind of reinforce some of these white circles. And I really love how this looks. And it's just kind of a mess, but I love how it's kind of shaping up. It's got so much interest, and it's just amazing how collage just gives you like these instant layers. And I really like how this focal area is kind of shaping up too. I really love these shapes, and I really want to reinforce that a bit. And we have a little bit of repetition here. I might let this be a bit of a broken line. And then we can leave those even in the background, like they're kind of fading to the back. I don't have to outline those and do the same thing everywhere. But maybe something I can do is reinforce this one little circle here. Maybe add, see these black lines here? I might add a little bit of something just like that. And maybe a little bit here. And it almost forms a whole other circle, which I think is pretty cool actually. And I just kind of followed the edge of the collage paper that I can see underneath. So it almost turns this into its own shape, which I like. Now, I wonder if there's any other opportunities, but I don't want to overdo it. I actually really like what this is turning out to be right now. I think I might actually just leave that. And that might be enough of the white for right now. I'm going to let this dry and just kind of look at it a little bit, and I'll be right back. All right, I grabbed a little bit more ultramarine, and I'm going to add a little bit more contrast here, and I really love that blue background. So I think I'm going to just give some of these larger circles a bit more contrast. So I'm going to come around here with my acrylic ultramarine, and I have kind of a dark line there, so I just rinsed my brush and blotted it. I'm going to kind of feather this out a bit so that it softens up this line just like that. And I'm going to come around and do it around this side also. And again, I just gave my brush a quick rinse, and I'm just going to feather so it leaves a little bit of a shadow kind of look around there. So I've got kind of a hard edge on the inside, and it softens up as you go out. And I'm going to do the same thing around this sort of lighter blue circle right here. And I'm just going to just slowly add some contrast, and I'm going to skip over these circles and just darken up these edges. I really like how this is turning out. And it's like I haven't even used, I mean, I've used blue, blue paint and some white, I guess, but my goodness, this is fun. You know what? We kind of have a little bit of a circle over here. I might do another dark outline, and it kind of already exists there. So why not just do the same thing? And I'm just going to feather it there. And we have this kind of nice bright area over here that I like, and it's just like a lot darker over on this side. I might even darken up this whole corner right here. I kind of like this darkness we've got going on from this edge. And then keep the lightness up that way. I'm going to grab a little bit of white and mix it with this. I'm just going to cover up a little bit of this white here, but I'm going to make it kind of a mid-tone. Well, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to take my tape off and see what we've got here. This was really, really fun. I really enjoyed this paper and just kind of going nuts with the paint, even just squeezing my bottle right on the paper. Why not? Just go nuts with your supplies and have some fun. And you never know, you might really love how it looks. I actually really like this painting, and it wasn't particularly difficult, and it used a lot of collage, but boy, it just kind of turned into something. And you saw I just sort of slapped that collage right down there onto the paper, but look what we got. So much depth, and it just looks great. So I'm going to pick this up and give you a close-up so you can see all the different texture and layers. You can even see some of that stamping, and there's a little bit of wrinkles in the paper where the collage was, because I just put so much of it down and it was very wet, but I love it, and I don't even mind that. It just gives some extra texture to the paper, and it gives more visual interest when you're looking at it close up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you try something like this. Just grab some collage paper you have lying around. If you haven't made some yet, you really should, and it's a lot of fun. So check out my videos on collage making and DIY collage paper, and you can use printer paper or anything you have on hand. So hope you enjoyed this. Please try it, and until next time, keep creating. Have a great day.